I'm seeing a lot of these videos pop up about Mexican people not wanting MAGA to visit their country, especially their vacation spots like Cancun and Cabo. Let's listen to this gentleman's message to MAGA to stay out of his country.
Are you a MAGA follower? Please do not come to Mexico. Do not come to Cancun. Do not come to Puerto Vallarta or Acapulco. Stay in the United States. Eat your Taco Bells. Eat your burritos. Eat your whatever you got back home. In Mexico, we already know that MAGA people hate Mexicans. We already know that you support Donald Trump, who is a really bad guy for Mexicans. They are putting our people in prisons. They are attacking our people. They are disappearing little children, separating families. We don't like MAGA people here in Mexico. And if you come, please do not bring your orange hat saying MAGA. Do not come with your shirt saying MAGA, because I've seen cases where MAGAs have been attacked by Mexicans in Cancun. At least they get knocked on their head, or at least they insult them, and we are right. We know you hate us in the United States, so why are you gonna come to Cancun with your offending us with your MAGA shirts or hats? Stay in the United States, you're better there. Why do you come to Cancun? Why do you come to Mexico? If you don't like us, stay there.
Well, Mexicans in Mexico City just told immigrants to pay taxes, to learn Spanish, to appreciate their culture. They even spray painted to go back home.
Please tell me that you guys have heard about the protests that are happening in Mexico, where the Mexican people are protesting against the American migrants. Ironic, right? Yeah, these American people that are moving into their country and bringing their gentrification ways along with them, right? They're increasing the price on rent, increasing the pricing of goods, essentially kicking the locals out. What I'm trying to understand is, how is it that we have a president that just signed a bill into law where it includes a budget of $46 billion to complete a border wall, when the Mexicans are literally stating, we don't want y'all here. We don't want you here. Who is this wall really for? What is this wall really for? Where is this $46 billion really going? If the Mexicans, the actual Mexican citizens, are not only stating you don't have to worry about us jumping the fence, but we actually are dealing with our own fight of getting you the fuck out of here.
So Mexicans down in Mexico are protesting all of the foreign influence. How ironic. How ironic is it? They're actually marching through the streets in Mexico City, telling foreigners to learn their language, telling them to pay taxes. They're pissed off that they've got all of this foreign influence, people coming down there for an easier living, right? When they're entering the country legally, they're paying for their visas. They're doing everything that the Mexico government asked them to do. And the people of Mexico are pissed off because they think it's colonialism. They think we're trying to take over Mexico because there's so many people from the USA that have gone down there for an easier living, right? Now they're going up to people on the beaches and all kinds of stuff, talking about, we're not going to play your mariachi music. They're protesting, they're yelling, they're telling people to get out of their country. I just want y'all to remember this, right? I want you to remember this when American politicians start pulling at your sympathy cords, right? When they start yanking on your heartstrings about deportations. Yeah, if those people had it their way, they would kick all of us off the continent. Peace and love. I'm out.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, let's talk about the current situation in Mexico. It looks like the tables have turned around and some Americans are not too happy about it. There is a growing wave of Mexicans speaking out saying, Americans, please stop coming to Mexico. And honestly, they are not saying it quite anymore. On TikTok, in the news report, and in the conversations on the ground, people in Mexico are sounding the alarm. They feel like their cities are being taken over and they have had enough. So what's going on? Over the past few years, especially since the pandemic, thousands of Americans have packed their bags and moved to Mexico. And not just for a vacation, many are remote workers, digital nomads, or people looking to escape the rising cost of living in the United States. But while these Americans think they have found paradise, a lot of Mexicans feel like they are being pushed out of their own home. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my name is Rosemary. Can you consider subscribing? Give this video a thumbs up, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Before we get to the video, let me play a few clips on the same and I'll be back with my comment. All credit goes to the original creators of these videos.
Mexico no longer wants Americans in Mexico, and the reason why is because of this process called gentrification. And what that means is basically you have wealthier people moving into a neighborhood or moving into a city, and these wealthier people are okay because they are paying these cheaper prices. However, for the locals, now everything is going up. The cost of everything is going up because of the wealthier individuals moving into their neighborhood, and they don't want that. But also, the character changes. You know, you see Americans, we have this American ideology of being able to speak freely and to change things when we don't like it. So these Americans are going to Mexico with these same ideologies, and they're trying to change that in Mexico. And the Mexicans are like, yeah, I don't like this. I don't like being able to not afford going out there and getting my my cheap tacos and my cheap beer and my, you know, massive amount of medication that is open, and I can't afford it now. They're not liking that, so they want Americans out. Isn't that crazy? Because in America, when we get tired of people burning our flag and protesting, looting, and basically taking our benefits and doing all that stuff, when we get tired of that, what happens here? Oh yeah, the Democrats basically get mad and tell their gangsters to go into the street and do dangerous things to our federal law enforcement agencies. So I don't know, maybe I think the thing that's happening in Mexico is actually a good thing, because maybe it will teach some people a lesson. I don't know, but anyway, just crazy where we're at in this world.
Let's start with the rising rent price. In cities like Mexico City and even coastal locals are watching their neighborhood change fast. Apartments that used to cost $300 a month are now going for $1,000 or more, just because Americans are willing to pay more. Landlords are now chasing US dollars and ignoring the people who have lived there their whole lives. And when locals complain, they are told to just move on. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Then there is the language and cultural issues. Many Americans moving to Mexico don't bother learning Spanish. Instead, they expect the locals to speak English. In neighborhoods once filled with Mexican culture and tradition, there are now vegan caves, kombucha shops, and signs that says branch served OD. All in English, imagine. Imagine living in your own country and not being able to afford rent or to find a place that serves traditional food. That's what's happening in many Mexican neighborhoods. Some Mexicans are calling this modern colonization, and honestly, they are not wrong. The same people who once complained about immigrants not assimilating in the US are now going to Mexico and refusing to assimilate there. The irony is heavy. In fact, a lot of the Mexicans are asking, why do you love Mexico so much but vote for politicians that hate us? And yes, some Americans are saying they moved to Mexico because the US felt unsafe or too stressful. That's fair, but again, the irony is strong. Many of these same people voted for policies that made life harder for Mexicans. From immigration crackdowns to border wars, now they are the ones crossing the border for the better life. The difference, no one is calling them illegal. The anger isn't just online. In real life, you will hear locals in Mexico City saying they don't want more Americans moving in. Some have even put up signs in their neighborhood saying, this is not Disneyland, or respect local culture. Others are organizing community groups to push back against foreign landlords and Airbnb takeovers. It's getting there. So how did we get here? Well, the US has gotten so expensive, especially in cities like Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco, that people are departing to find a more affordable way to live. But instead of fixing problems back home, some Americans are just escaping and creating new problems somewhere else. They see Mexico as a cheap, sunny paradise, but to locals, it feels like invasion. Let's begin. Mexico has always been treated unfairly in the US, politics and media. It's often pointed as dangerous or poor. Yet, when Americans want tacos, beaches, or cheap rent, suddenly Mexico becomes beautiful and authentic. That's the double standard that Mexicans are calling out. You can't love the culture but respect the people. You can't want the food, the weather, and the vibes, but ignore the harm your presence might be causing. Of course, not all Americans in Mexico are causing problems. Some are learning the language, respecting the culture, and trying to give back, but the numbers don't lie. Gentrification is hitting Mexico hard, and locals are struggling. If this trend continues, many Mexicans fear that their cities will turn into playgrounds for wealthy foreigners, while the real community gets erased. What's odd is that some Americans are shocked to hear this. They are asking, wait, Mexicans don't want us here? Well, now you know how immigrants in the US feel when they get the same message. What goes around really comes around. At the end of the day, people want to feel safe and respected in their own homes. Whether it's Americans in the US or Mexicans in Mexico, everyone wants affordable housing, fair wages, and sense of community. The problem is when privilege blinds people to the damage they are doing, even if it's unintentional. So to any Americans thinking of moving to Mexico, do your homework. Learn the language, respect the locals, and maybe, just maybe, ask yourself if you are solving your own problems or learning away from them while creating new ones for someone else. Because right now, the message from many Mexicans is loud and clear. We are not your escape plan. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.